remember stopping properly. I swear when a light's out, everybody doesn't know how to use it properly when it's out, kind of situation like a stop sign. Anyway, in the car as usual, I am trying to find a home inspector. No, we don't know that we have the loan yet, but I'm just trying to get a feel for how much it's going to run us and what have you. So that little nest egg that we have won't be there much longer. And that is the scary thing. But we're getting towards the end of the year. Okay, we're not that close, but you know what I mean? So, I just, fingers crossed, get through until tax season, because they can't take it this year. Anthony double paid again. Do need to check and see if they did it again, because last check, they took more money out after releasing it, after he had paid it off. There's just no winning sometimes. And so they ended up turning around and sending us a check for the $200 and something that they had taken out. And we'll see. I thought about it for half a second earlier because I like to keep the pay stubs, because it came in handy for getting a mortgage. You kind of need that. And so, I remembered and had some forethought that, that's something you need. And so I need to go home, plug in my computer because someone plugs in. So at the computer it's plugged in. Someone keeps unplugging the cord from the extension cord. So my computer's probably dead because it's been that way for a few days. And so I am in turn going to need to plug it in, open it, go to the place where they have their pay stubs and get his pay stubs. Pay stub. Just one. And then I've got a couple bills. I need to do our bills for this coming month. And see when everything needs to go out, paid wise. And I always pay my car payments early, probably 10 days early. Get that set up. I'm just I'm so tired, it's not even funny. But it's not really a big deal. What else? I don't know. I can't find the paperwork from Anthony's car because they said the payment was going to be lower than it really was. And it wasn't. And it's still, like I said before, if I didn't delete that video, it's still under $200. We still spent under $400 for 2 cars. So it's no big deal realistically. I do think I said I was going to do it with the disability back pay, but I think I might do it with the taxes, pay a good chunk on both of our cars, and see if maybe, I don't know. Let's just go with I don't know at this point. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just focused on impatiently waiting for this loan to go through. I feel like this is taking the longest and it's driving me nuts. But patience was never my virtue. I got all the boxes in the house. We decided not to necessarily pack anything else. Everything that is packed, I didn't want to pull anything out of. I packed some of the kitchen, and Anthony asked me before we put it in Connor's room, pots and pans, do you want it? And I was like, no, we're doing okay. without having those out right now. So let's just go ahead, and it's almost all of my Green Life is put up. I don't need 8 cookie sheets out right now. I don't need, okay, so we did come across something that was a pain. There are storage containers somewhere, and those we could use, but it's no big deal. It just means I watch how much food I'm making. But like the other day, we had a barbecue, and Anne and her family, so there's 7 in that family, Joni and the baby didn't eat, obviously, and then there were my 5. So I made carne asada, carnitas, Mexican rice, and refried beans. No one put the beans up, so they ruined real quickly in a hot kitchen. I opened it, I was like, oh, it's my favorite Dutch oven. It's one of the porcelain and cast iron one, and it, like, the rice comes out beautiful every time. It turns out really, really good. So I opened it, and whoo, mama, that stunk. I have 3 Dutch ovens. One is not porcelain, 2 are porcelain enamel, and I love them. Like, straight up love them. So yeah, I don't know where the other 2 are actually. No, that's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, I make artisan style bread, and it's a no knead one, and it turns out beautifully every single time. It just takes a while. You have to start it the night before and let it set overnight and proof, and then the next day you kind of knead it just a little, just to kind of form the loaf. And you have the cast iron pot in the oven at 450 degrees. It's on paper, parchment paper. You have the lid on the entire time. You take the lid off, you drop the bread in, you put the lid on for like 45 minutes, and then you pull it off for another 15, and it turns out beautiful. It's crusty. Yeah, it's something else. I need to eventually get milk. My back is cramping so bad. So tomorrow we are meeting with the real estate agent to discuss what happened. And if I still feel like I don't want to work with him, I am going to have to find someone new. I'm the one that actually said give him a second chance. Anthony goes, hold on, I don't know who I'm talking to, because I'm like one and done. Like, literally, I will not spend money at Dutch Bros because they did me wrong. And so the place where I get my coffee now, Giddy Up and Go, they had gone from the stamp card to electronic system. Well, when I was using it on the electronic system, well, I had a free 24 ounce. When they decided not to do that anymore, I lost all of my points. And I would not go there for a year and a half. Hold a grudge. And we liked him, it's just kind of disappearing. And then he said that he would get an appointment for this house behind us, and then we heard nothing for 8 days. And that's an issue. I need to feel secure, and that's what I said. I don't like the disappearing act. I need to feel secure in someone who's supposed to be helping me get a home. I understand you have a family. I understand there are other obligations, but we never heard from you. And, you know, so he called me. He didn't message me back. And he was like, basically, I didn't know I was supposed to call you. You're not supposed to be seeing houses beforehand. And I'm like, I have never heard of that. And I know friends who have bought houses here that have never had that problem. And I'm like, that is so weird. I don't know what I'm gonna like. So what Anthony and I had in mind, we always wanted a basement. We always wanted, you know, game room, kids down there kind of situation. That was something we always wanted. That is still something we wanted. But there are other things where I'm like, oh my God, I need this. And now that I've looked at 2 houses, I'm like, I did not need this. And so things have definitely changed on what I want opposed to what I need. And so I explained, but I was still irritated after I had let him go. So I called and told Anthony. And so Anthony ended up messaging him, and he was real nice to Anthony. And don't get me wrong, sorry, that came out wrong. He wasn't not nice to me. He was. It's just, I wonder if she realizes that little girl is not the boy she said she was hanging out with. Anyway. It might just be a misunderstanding, and I am okay with that. If we can get past that, I'm the grumpy one. And so, we'll see. Today says it was going to get to 90 something. We got 2 more hours until, it could possibly get that. So I'm going to go in and try to clean. Lex did dishes while I was gone. So I think there's not a lot to do because I was working on getting like the majorly bulky stuff out of the front room. Like we had blew up the TV upstairs because of the heat on accident. And so we had bought another one, and 50-inch for $149 is amazing considering back a few years ago we paid $500 almost for a 50-inch. So we picked up a TV, and the box was in the front room, and one of the boxes contained the broken TV that we think is just like a little piece that needs to be fixed. But it's just having Anne's husband Grayson have time to do it with summer and work and stuff. And in their home, 5 kids, time is not really something you have. And then he's in school for engineering, so he's quite busy normally too, but he has a summer off. So anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.